All right, we have a game of Tzeentch versus the Beastmen. Two of my mods fighting each other for blood and glory. DPD Sulfur-Crested Cockatoo and SOK Crowfather, also known as Lenormand Butcherbird, if you see them on Discord. Bird is an off-meta player. He has some hot takes on the meta that I disagree with, but does like Bretonnia, does like Beastmen. Also likes Wood Elves. So plays an awful lot of them. Lenorm is our resident Tzeentch player. Doesn't play the most degenerately, but still kind of degenerate, because it is Tzeentch after all. So for Tzeentch, we have triple Blue Horrors of Tzeentch, Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with Halberds across the entire backline. 5 of them. 4 Marauders of Tzeentch up front, 1 Soul Grinder, and Kairos Fate Weaver with Blue Fire and Regrowth. I have come to hate Kairos over the things. He never runs out of mana. He sucks. He just sucks. I hate him. He's dumb. He's a dumb poopy poop head. Anyway. For the Beastmen, 4 Centaurs with throwing axes, a front line of Ungor Spearmen, 3 more melee Centaurs, a Jabber Scythe, a Cygor, Morgur the Shadowgave with his Chaos Spawn summons, and a Bray Shaman of Wilds with just Traderkin. Pretty straightforward build. I mean, he's a better Beastman player than I am. I just would have said like 1 or 2 Ungor Raiders somewhere in there, and I personally am a Cygor hater. I think they suck, but maybe he was memeing, maybe he believes in it. I'll probably mention it in the comment section because he's usually rather active there. And you can identify yourself if you want to. So with no cavalry presence whatsoever, Tzeentch can't stop the Centaurs from going where they want to, and they will oblige. Now, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of great targets because the Blue Horrors of Tzeentch are like a hybrid melee infantry. They can hold their own decently, and everything else is Chaos Warriors. Soul Grinder of Tzeentch spent some time trying to shoot the Cygor, but that massive health pool is just draining the ammunition of the little Soul Grinder. So he's going to opt in for the Jabber Scythe instead, deciding it's a more worthy combatant. And a Blue Fire plus Blue Horrors plus the Soul Grinder is really sniping that thing out rather effectively, already 1/4 down on its HP. The front lines have collided, and you would assume Tzeentch would win it. I mean, Ungors are hardly frontline world beaters, and they are backed up by Chaos Warriors. But as far as the Blue Horrors go, we're already down 2 out of the 3. Nope, just 1 out of the 3 has fully evaporated away. Jabber Scythe's down to half HP. Morgur is wandering through the front line. No Chaos Spawn summons yet out of him. Centaurs are throwing axes, dealing a ton of damage to these Chaos Warriors with Halberds. And Blue Fire plus Blue Horrors plus Soul Grinder. Jabber Scythe's already going to be routed. Balance power is about even. And the Tzeentch frontline has suffered a lot more than you would have thought. Mostly from nice Centaur charging and throwing axe harassment and such. But the Marauders of Tzeentch are struggling even to fight the Ungor Spearmen. Marauders of Tzeentch, to be fair, they get shields, but they get nothing else. The Khorne Marauders are a little higher on DPS. Slaanesh Marauders are obviously the best of the best. Nurgle Marauders will hold a little bit longer, so Tzeentch's infantry are the worst of the 4. Okay, well, debatably with Khorne, but like, if you straight up fight them, no shenanigans, I think the Khorne Marauders will beat the Tzeentch ones. Centaurs are throwing X's, trying to catch Kairos on the ground, keep him there. Those barriers are taking very little damage, and he has Oracle of Eternity. He's totally fine with what's going on. But that did allow enough time for the Jabber Scythe to come back and be rallied. Centaurs are throwing X's, continuing to kite, and they are really taking their day out on these Halberd troops. Wow. First summon for Morgur is active. I think it's the involuntary one. Yes, it is. So that is up and out. Couldn't control it, so might as well just throw it out there. It is going to chase after the Soul Grinder, but if the Soul Grinder kites away, I think he's faster than Chaos Spawn. Yeah, he is by a significant degree, so he could get out of here. Looks like Centaurs have realized that too, though, and they want to just surround him down, keep him in range of these Chaos Spawn, make sure they can get their value fighting him before they disappear. Another Blue Fire from Kairos, all hitting the Jabber Scythe. Really afraid of that for some reason. I guess it does do magic damage, so he doesn't really want it running rampant through his troops. As the Jabber does dive onto the Blue Horrors, gets them crumbling a little bit, and their Demonic Instability will do the rest. An overcasted Traderkin just on the Chaos Warriors with Halberds. I'm kind of surprised that wasn't on the Soul Grinder with 2 Halberds around it. That feels like a bit of a misplay over there. Soul Grinder does slink his way away. Morgur is following after him, just kind of calmly walking like an angry parent. But Kairos is overhead. Another blue fire. All of them hit the Jabber Scythe. I mean, maybe some hit the ground, but despite its best attempt at a juke, did not matter. And it's now Mortis engineering down the Chaos Warriors with halberds. Things are going in the Beastman's favor slightly, but we do get a Gaze of Fate followed up by the Tier 3 Tzeentch army ability. One of the Centaurs is going to be able to dodge it, but the netted one cannot. Underwhelming damage, to be honest. I mean, just against one cavalry piece. Though, these other cav pieces charging straight into it, they get a little bit of poke, but it finished off. For Tier 3 armor ability, finishing off a half-health skirmish cav unit, I guess it's fine. I guess. Now the Traderkin is out. This one does hit Kairos, but he has full shield, so he'll probably be fine. A Regrowth is cast onto his Soul Grinder. Various Chaos Marauders and Chaos Warriors are trying to come back to the fight, and the Cygor has just been chucking off in the distance. 800 value. God, I hate that unit. It sucks so bad. Another blue fire, mostly whiffs on the Jabber Scythe. Gets a little bit of poke on the far end. Can the Beastman get through all of the halberds? Maybe. I think that's why Lenormand's been targeting down this Jabber, though. He really doesn't want its charge attacks, plus its Mortis engine to be messing with all of his halberds, and there gets a nice charge, starts mortising them down, and it's even going to rout them? No, not quite. They managed to rally for the moment. Bird still keeping good control over his throwing axes. And I got a beep beep boop boop. That should be the end of the Jabber Scythe with that blue fire of Tzeentch straight onto its face. And it is routed off as a big Cygor boulder hits some various Marauders. Soul Grinder is back, 5 ammunition on that guy, but almost full health because, well, actually, yes, full health because of Kairos' regrowths. Ooh, and a Traderkin centered on him is going to also hit the Soul Grinder, so those are the two big targets it really should be aiming for. The Jabber Scythe is officially taken down. But what does Tzeentch even have left? All of their Marauders are routing, their Chaos Warriors are all routing except for this one that is awfully close to death's door. And Kairos throws out another blue fire, just trying to hit some Centaurs. Really not trying to snipe out the Traderkin caster or Morgur. Morgur makes sense, though, because he has spell resist and missile resist, which can make him really, really difficult. Hold on, that equals 100%. Does he take literally 0 damage from blue fire? I'll have to test that after this. Soul Grinder fighting with a Centaur throwing axe actually has a lot of ammunition in that thing, so getting into melee and terror routing it off was quite nice from him. Kairos is trying to chase up some Centaurs. Mostly they're buying a little bit of space to maybe get some rallying troops back and leave these halberds some time to fight Morgur and the Bray Shaman alone. But with barely any ammunition, these Centaurs with throwing axes should still be able to finish off that very, very wounded Chaos Warrior. Kairos and the Soul Grinder twirling, fighting, pushing off the poor little moo cows. And there they go. And Cygor lumbers back into the fight. He has 3 rocks left to throw. Chaos Warrior is getting pushed off his Centaurs. Rear charge them. Balance of power still about even. It really loves Kairos, though. You always have to remember how much it loves Kairos Fateweaver. He even throws down a regrowth onto the Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with halberds. Now, this dude has used so much Winds of Magic. So much. He's cast blue fires all game long. He's cast 2 regrowths that I've seen. I guess he has a Scroll of Destiny that increases power reserves. Arcane Conduit doesn't increase his power reserves. Oh, Life Leeching increases his power reserves. I forgot that he even has Life Leeching. That's kind of messed up. Why does Kairos get Life Leeching? That might explain why everybody takes him all the time. It's just like infinite Winds of Magic. Goddamn. Little bit of repositioning, little bit of Beastmen gathering back up. Quick blue fire cast from Kairos goes up and over the hill, pokes some Centaurs down. I still feel like there might be better targets for that. Maybe the Cygor himself, but maybe. Kairos is going to land on the back of these Centaurs. And they're just doing some kiting. Even with the regrowth, man, these Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch aren't feeling it. They've taken too many axes to the back of the head. Those guys are out of ammo, out of ammo, out of ammo. There's no more throwing axes to be had. Yes, no more. But the Chaos Warriors are also no more, leaving us with just 2 single entities at this point. Kairos throws out another blue fire on some of the Centaurs. That one did really good damage. And the Cygor lumbering over the hill, ready to get involved, ready to get fighting. He's probably going to try to smush him. He tried to smoosh. Another Trader King cast on the 2 single entities remaining of Tzeentch. It is even overcast, so it's going to do great damage. And all of the Beastmen are piling in for the final fight. Kairos has terrible melee stats. Soulgrinder actually has pretty decent ones, but they think they can probably overwhelm them with all that. A Gaze of Fate is thrown down onto the Centaurs with throwing axes. Another tier 3 army ability from Tzeentch is coming in. The Beastmen just pile into it. All of their troops that are left are in the army ability. And the Centaurs even charge back in. These other Centaurs are probably going to stay out of range, but most of the army is just getting nuked down. There is Morgur's Chaos Spawn summon that comes out in the final hour. That was his voluntary summon, so nothing was killed off for it. Beastmen are still ahead on the balance of power, but that army ability was pretty tragic for them. All of their units are routing besides the summon that is unbreakable, and the 3 single entities. A regrowth, another regrowth is coming for the Soul Grinder, who continues to fight, continues to soul, continues to grind. He's fighting back against the Cygor, who has pretty significantly more health than it. 2,000 more health is a lot. It is getting regrowth, though, so that's subject to change. Chaos Spawn are going to have to get their work in. They do have 14 seconds left of being alive. Plus 30, so about 40 seconds left of being alive. Another Traderkin hits Kairos and the Soul Grinder, really trying to finish them off. A point-blank blue fire hits the Cygor right in the nether regions, and he kicks the Soul Grinder back, which shoves a bunch of Chaos Spawn away, making sure they can't actually assist him, can't actually attack the Soul Grinder at all. The Soul Grinder with 3 ammunition is going to run away, is going to get in a better position to shoot. Meanwhile, a Bolt of Change, the tier 2 army ability from Tzeentch comes out. Man, they have got all the army abilities they could ever want. Does a good amount of collateral damage, and Soul Grinder of Tzeentch just peppers the back of the Cygor, lowering his leadership enough that he is actually going to rout with 1,000 HP left to his name. Ungor Spears are back, Ungor Spears are gone. There's a healthy-ish Centaur. The Chaos Spawn have all died. There is a very wounded Centaur, and there's Morgur plus his Trader King caster. Kairos is at half HP. Okay, I was like, is he regrowthing too? Soul Grinder, 1/3 HP and 2 shots left to his name. Can Tzeentch pull it out with their single entities? Kairos is going to chase the Cygor for a little bit. Doesn't want him to use the last of that 2 ammunition. Also doesn't want him to just come back in and start swinging for the fences with his big rock either. 300 HP on him. Kairos does manage to take the big boy down. And Centaurs are terror routed. Another regrowth from Kairos onto the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. Maybe giving one character the best lore passives in the game, the best spells in the game with regrowth and Blue Fire of Tzeentch, and 44% damage resistance on a 90-second cooldown. Maybe that is not a great idea. There's a beautiful purple laser eye bolt thing from the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, just kills 2 Centaur units almost entirely, though one of them actually does manage to hold their ground, which I am surprised by. Kairos is back out. He's probably opting in for another blue fire. Nope, it's just a rear charge. Trying to lower these Centaur's leadership enough that he can get them out of here. And it looks like he will do just that. They are pushed away. Morgur's still full HP. He probably has a lot of healing left to give. I bet the Brave Shaman Wild is probably just about out of Winds of Magic. He's not entirely out of Winds of Magic to kill either of the Tzeentch single entities. The Soul Grinder is just going to opt into chasing off the Centaurs with throwing axes. Probably trying to get some distance so he can turn around and throw the last 2 of his shots at the Trader King caster. And Kairos is maybe saving up any Winds of Magic he has for one last blue fire, as another flamethrower shot deters those Centaurs from rallying any more times. Centaurs are gone. He turns melee mode off and goes into his super cool Zeus stance. But it looks like he shot at Morgur there, who still has 75% missile resist, so it's not going to do that much damage. Just probably aim at the Trader King caster. One more throw. Nope, he's aiming at Morgur, and it just does like negative damage because of his missile resist. Soul Grinder opts in, punts the Trader King caster away, and Kairos is even going to opt in. Now they surround Morgur. His 45 melee defense might hold. 35 melee attack from Kairos, 45 from the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. And the Trader King caster is just kind of there. He exists. Another Oracle of Eternity from Kairos trying to keep him up, keep him healthy. Morgar is in the fight. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit as we have a bump and grind of the last 4 single entities on the map. Trader King caster gets deleted. Trader King caster gets pushed off. Kairos will stay and fight Morgar for a bit. The Soul Grinder is going to chase off that guy, shatters him, turns to fight Morgar once more. Morgar, it seems like, is just not landing any hits on these guys, or if he isn't getting through their shields at all. Yeah, his gold damage value went up like 40 in that entire fight. GG, well played to both players. Kairos did way too much. Probably broken. Soul Grinder of Zinch also did amazingly. Chaos Warriors of Zinch with Halberds were... I don't want to say underwhelming because they were very well dealt with by the Beastman player. So they could have been scary, but then they weren't. Marauders did okay. Blue Horrors got shut down. For Morgar, I mean, he was there for Chaos Spawn summons and support. And he did that, I guess. Trader King Caster was fine. Smuggler Spearman Herds did okay. Centaurs did okay. Throwing Axes did quite well. Cygor, 1300 value in the end. I guess that's fine. He used all of his ammo, though I would have hoped for more. And Jabber Scythe got super focused, so it didn't get a ton of value, but it's not exactly its fault. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.